down a little bit of the hybridization of the EML.
Actually, there's some little step I do which I got actually cheating, and I'm not very sure, but sometimes you imagine that the Mantis is slightly less mobile. Unfortunately, there's no laser pointer. But what I do is just like to remove the posterior superior overhang, I remove where you have pointed out the AML. I actually with the gouge and hammer take away a little bit of the bony overhang there.
Yes.
Without cutting the ligament. Nice. Here. So here I'll engage the gouge. Of course, you have to extend the skin incision, expose it a little bit more, and take it out. For some reason, I feel on table for manual palpation, there is hypermobility. Whether it translates into better sound transmission or not,
You do an intraoperative audiogram and you will get it.
Yeah. So I went to
Okay. So
Goal to go in there. We are landing in a sort of a situation here. Of course, that's the reason why I bought the KTP laser, because the CO2 laser is a little risky. It is a beam laser, but I can turn my fiber. I can weaken the foot plate here. So making the fenestra is hard to stabilize the lower end of the incus.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
One guy one thing. See, there are certain situations where we should be ready to accept the defeat.
Yes, but this is not yet.
So no, in my case I have faced one. So I found it's really difficult. I have not done a lot of manipulations. I closed it and I
See,
now,
as it is,
I want to notice.
yeah.
There are only two possibilities in this. Short incus is the end point of the incus is exactly at the center. It comes to the center point of the foot plate.
Yeah.
We do somehow can manage to put a piston. Otherwise, when it's going above the center part of the foot plate, absolutely whatever you do, the piston is not going to be there in place. So we have to go for the manual stabilizer. That is for sure.
You can add the titanium. Of course, you can activate the titanium.
You can activate
The thing is that if you see the alignment of the piston, the way it goes, if you see the perpendicular, because we see the piston in the center top, it just put the piston in the right angle.
We have the same.
We are running short of time. We are running short of time. Finish.
I mean, sir said so many probabilities and possibilities which you could do for this case. I would like to do.
No, I don't do Robinson.
In the worst case scenario, you can do a manual vesicle fixation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
That's as simple.
So the solution here would be multi-pronged. One is use a titanium piston, second use a Robinson, third is to do a realistic.
I think we would have been able to pull off this event. So thank you very much for your patience and cooperation throughout the conference of 2.5 days. I also hope that all of you have had a very engaging, invigorating, as well as a lot of knowledge exchange over the 2.5 days, and all of you are taking home some great learnings and very happy memories. So thank you very much. We're now here to start the valedictory ceremony of MenTCon 2017 as we are about to draw the curtains on this year's conference. So first of all, as we begin, I'd like to request Dr. Wilson Desai, Secretary of FMSB of AOI, to please come up on the stage. Dr. Wilson Desai, is he in the room? All right, perfect. So Dr. Wilson Desai will speak a few words and also give a vote of appreciation.
Good afternoon, everybody. And first of all, I would like to really compliment this branch, Mumbai West, for this fantastic 3 days that we've all enjoyed in Mumbai. So let's give it up to them. 3 cheers for Mumbai West. Hip hip. Hip hip. I think what stood out was the timing were maintained, and that made a huge difference. The audiovisual has been fantastic. The food is good. And this venue, of course, is outstanding. So again, once again, thanks a lot, Mumbai West, for raising the bar. It's all about raising the bar of FMSB, and that's what we've been striving for as a secretary. I would like to also thank the general body meeting yesterday, who again imposed faith on me, yes, but also added to my additional responsibilities towards the Golden Jubilee celebrations at Nasik next year. So be there, because you will definitely witness something out of this world and something completely different. So be there at Nasik, because we are all going into our Golden Jubilee, and this has to go down in memory of all of us and has to stay there for a long time to come. As part of these Golden Jubilee celebrations, as a secretary, I would like to announce a few new proposals that we are going to materialize this year. First is the detailed plan of the fellowship program of FMSP is now in place. Initially for three months, probably extending into 6 months to get it affiliated to MUHS nursing. This fellowship is meant for people who just pass out their degrees or diplomas from the state of Maharashtra. And the details will reach your medical colleges or your place of work in due course. But all details of this has been posted to your regional secretaries about a month and a half ago. So all those in that area, please get in touch with them because they have the details regarding the rules and regulations. At this time, I would also like to thank many of the members who act as resource people who I have not personally taken permission from if they are ready to participate in this particular program. But I had to go ahead because I want to get this rolling whatever happens during this current year. Then we also propose to start the FMSP News Bulletin. Dr. Vaidya sir and Dr. Khanna sir has agreed to work on this and they would be launching this very soon. It will go out probably as a soft copy, the news bulletin of FMSP, and we hopefully will be able to upgrade it to a journal very soon, looking at the various requirements that our young graduates have. We also have requested all the branches to celebrate the World Deafness Week, guidelines of which have been given to each and every secretary, which we hope that we all will follow to create a deafness awareness program among the population. We also have requested the various branches of FMSP, 15 in all, to start an award for the outstanding MBBS student of medical colleges in their particular regions. So we hope that this program would kick forward, this would encourage more and more undergraduates to take up to the ENT fraternity. The directory is ready and I have a soft copy with me right now of all the members updated until the year 2016. So if any of the secretaries are here, please come forward and collect your copy from me a little later on. Once again, we thank you for this. We thank delegates who have come. Probably another thing that I forgot where we have to appreciate Mumbai West is out of all the conferences till date, this has recorded the maximum registrations, 890. Am I right? 890? 830, I'm sorry. The people in the dining hall told me 890, but it's 830, so this also happens to be a new record, a new benchmark that we have set for ourselves. It's all about getting or uplifting. I'm not saying that we are down, but it's all about increasing our bar or raising the bar of FMSP. And me as the secretary, I feel humbled by your cooperation, your love that you have vested on me for the past 3 years. I've got another extension to do the Golden Jubilee. So thank you very much. And I can assure you that I will live up to everybody's expectations as far as my responsibilities are concerned. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wilson Desai. The valedictory function for all is a very warm time of the afternoon. I know we all are hungry, but it is a very, very special ceremony that we host. First of all, to honor and express our gratitude for all the people who've attended the 2.5-day conference, and I've put in a lot of sweat and blood, and as you can see, the organizing team is standing by my side here. So it's also to honor their efforts, and most importantly, all the people who have presented their papers, their ideas and discussions during this format. So to present these awards, I'm going to request the following dignitaries to please join me on stage, and we are very honored to have amongst us some of the very special people who will come and grace the stage as I call their names now. So could I please request Shivani Saini, who's an actress. She has a wonderful, strong theatre background. She's also been the first, her first film was Happy Go Lucky. I'm sure there are lots of Bollywood movie bugs and fans in the audience. Her second film was Sarabjit, which was a very critically acclaimed film. She played Randeep Huda's daughter, and she's done over 60 and above ram shows. She's also doing a Hollywood film. So thank you very much, Shivani, for joining us and gracing us with your presence. Please take your seat on the dais. Next up, I would request Advocate Amit Mehta to please join us up on stage. He's also the committee member of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. Society, among many other organizations that he supports and actively participates in, both legal and otherwise. Next up, I would request Mr. Sunil Sharma, who's an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, the ex-president of Rotary USA, to please join us on stage. He's a man of importance as he's currently working very closely with President Donald Trump on promoting medical tourism between India and the United States of America. Please give a round of applause to Mr. Sunil Sharma, sir, for joining us. I would also request our next chief guest to come up on stage, that is Dr. Shiv Shankar Murjake. He is the consultant neurosurgeon from Kolhapur. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing time to join us for this ceremony at MenchCon 2017. I would also request the newly Christian president of FMSB of AOI, Dr. Raghuji Thorat. Please give him an astounding round of applause to join us on stage. Dr. Bimal Shah, the organizing chairman of MenchCon 2017, and the newly Christian vice president of FMSB of AOI to please join me on stage. Last but not the least, I request Dr. Wilson Desai to come back on stage. He's the secretary of FMSB of AOI. A big round of applause for everyone who's joined us on the dais. Thank you very much for your valuable time. As we move on, I would request Mr. Sunil Sharma to please come up and speak a few words on medical tourism and mind-body medicine. It has a very special focus, and I think he'll take you through that in his talk. Mr. Sharma, please.
Good afternoon. I'm told when you're the speaker, which is coming to the end and coming in between your lunch time, it's better to be short and sweet. First of all, I want to congratulate Dr. Rajesh and his whole team for what a beautiful conference you had in 3 days. Not only you had so many great sessions, which I got to know a little bit, but you also know how to have fun. You guys are passionate, you care for what you do, and you party together like anything that I have not seen in a long, long time, so congratulations. I come from Houston. I'm a past administrator of a hospital, St. Luke's Texas Children's Texas Heart, in the medical center. And I have a message for all of you. But before I say that, I want to share a joke with you. I heard about this archaeologist in America. He dug down 10 feet and found traces of copper wiring dating back 100 years. He concluded that the Americans had a telephone network over 100 years ago. Not to be outdone, an archaeologist from China dug down 20 feet and found copper wiring dating back 200 years. He concluded the Chinese had a massive communications network 100 years earlier than America did. Upon hearing this, Ramu from India dug down 30 feet on his farm and found absolutely nothing. He concluded that 300 years ago, Indians have already gone wireless. Ladies and gentlemen, incredible India. I come from a healthcare facility, and I bring a very interesting proposition to all of you as physicians. There is so much in this country that I grew up, and I still remember, ancient history. We practice healthcare in a totally different format. We take care of body, mind, and soul. Wouldn't it be nice if we create a place where we have a specific arena where we can practice all that's available to us, which is good of East and West. India has been very famous for over more than 5,000 years, where we practiced Ayurvedic and the type of surgery that became very famous here. When you look at symptoms and things that we do in the eastern side, we look at the symptoms, not the causes. In USA specifically, my medical board will only look at the cause and try to treat it. Here, we identify the whole concept, and you are so clinically well trained and got much better bedside manners. So wouldn't it be nice if we can combine East and Western medicine together? Some of these things I put together we can read, so I'm cutting down on the time. Over there we document a lot of things. I hear Pankaj Naram on television and he talks about mano ya na mano. He cured this and he cured that. But is there any documentation? We need to make sure that we provide something that both worlds can practice, bringing East and West, so we can provide an alternative medicine where you have a solution based upon your expertise and what patient would like to see and what family would like to provide for them. Alternative solution to healthcare. Hence, a partnership between India and the United States of America. There are so many of you who know so many of your friends who practice there. They would love to come here. Right now, we have medical tourism, as I'm told, in India, and a lot of things are happening for a number of reasons that are identified on your screen. But there are a lot of things we can add to it. Wouldn't it be nice if we have a facility, we bring in all these different modalities, including meditation and yoga. MD Anderson, which is the largest cancer institute in my medical center, has started practicing yoga with patients and even their families. And the results are amazing. If you look at these things, and you have already started, some of those people are already practicing it in these centers all over India. But there are a lot of things we need to add to it. For example, provide a facility that provides all these alternatives for you. Identifying your way of documenting. If there is an Ayurvedic medication that have reduced a particular symptom or pain or even help in the diabetes or lower the cholesterol level, can we document that and compare and then write a paper on it? As many white papers that you can produce, which will establish the ability to show what India has known for years, but the rest of the world does not know. Such a great history that we have, and we need to utilize these things. These are some of the needs that we can talk about at a later date. So the concept that I bring to you is this. You have latest technology. You have sharp mind. You have perfected your technique by working with each other. You have beautiful facilities. You now have money. And you're the largest nation who's so qualified to do so many things. Won't it be nice if you bring together East and West by having you to share what you do best, learning from your counterpart in the Western world what they do best, and put together a package so that we have pre and post care as well for elective procedures as well as things that we miss so badly in that part of the world, which is peace of mind, learning the spirituality, trying to find tranquility, which is very rare. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and God bless you for all that you do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. I request our team to please honor Mr. Sharma with a token of our appreciation. A big round of applause for Mr. Sharma, giving us some great ideas on medical tourism. Dr. Shiv Shankar Murjake to please come up on the dais and speak a few words on the upcoming medical tourism in India. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Shiv Shankar Murjake. I'm a practicing neurosurgeon in the peripheral part of Maharashtra in a village near Kolhapur. As we all know, health is wealth. But on the lighter aspect, we all know that the ill health is somebody's wealth. Because present day, if you see the pharma companies, the yearly turnover is more than 300 billion, and insurance companies more than 100 billion, and equipment industry more than 1,000 billions. So leave apart the professional part and other aspects. So, but unfortunately, the whole industry deals with the physical health. As Mr. Sunil Sharma rightly told, we know that WHO definition of health is it is a state of physical, mental, spiritual, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So, we practice in a village at a Siddhagiri Hospital and Research Center, Kanerimat, Kolhapur, where we touch the other parts of healing. We have a super specialty hospital of 300 beds, and we do touch the healing of mind, spirit, body, and soul. Our hospital, Siddhagiri Hospital and Research Center, is a philanthropic institution. It works on the basis of no profit, no loss. This hospital was established in 2011 with our beloved Swamiji's concept of Niradharana Adhar. It is spread over 17 acres. The serene beauty of nature gives immense healing to the patients and the enjoyment. We have 300 plus accommodation of all the kinds for allopathy and 50 plus beds for Ayurveda. And we do have physiotherapy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, and yoga, and we have a rehabilitation center also. When we think of medical tourism, as Mr. Sharma rightly told, it's not because in Western countries they are very well versed with the allopathic medicine. They are very much updated with the recent all the technologies what they have, but they are looking for something else, because there the mental health is of a great concern. At the same time, the healing of the spiritual problems and the body is not taken care. Hence, the patients would like to travel to India. As many of the delegates might be from Kolhapur around, you have got a museum which is ranked 10th in Asia for its speciality. It is spread over around 20 acres. It showcases a village life, where the village life which we lived around 35 years back is shown in a museum. Because if you are from a village, you know that when you go back to the village, the things we played in the childhood or what we saw is hardly seen in any village now because of the ultra-modern, rapid industrialization, progression and everything. And these things have been showcased in our museum. We also have a 1,500-old temple and a meditation center also, where the spiritual discourses and even the meditation trainings are given to the delegates and even the patients also. So these aspects are taken care for spiritual healing. We also have Gurukul, and we have around 850 cows, and we believe in benefits of cow's milk and its products. And we also have around Freedom Park, and it showcases the rich Indian heritage, which can show to the village life and this museum to the foreign delegates or patients who can come to us. So why us for a medical tourism? Because we are totally out of all these things. We never thought of these things, and somebody contacted us for the same thing. So we believe in non-commercial practice because it's a charitable hospital and we don't think of profit in our running the hospital. We have a low cost bearing rich culture heritage, less waiting, and world-class quality and personalized care. Being in a village, we have a neuronavigation at our center. I use Introp neuromotoring system. We have Eclipse and Medtronic. And we have all the world-class facilities even for endoscopic brain surgeries. We routinely do skull base and intravertebral brain surgeries at our center. So, as Mayo rightly told many years ago, the aim of medicine is to prevent disease and prolong life. The ideal of medicine is to eliminate the need of the physician itself. And the same words were repeated by our brother Swamiji while opening this hospital in 2011. He told that I am not much happy in inaugurating the hospital. I will be more happier when the purpose of opening this hospital ends and the hospital gets closed. That is belief in preventive health. So we are into preventive aspect also. We are coming up with something called as Siddhagiri products, because we know that present day food culture and the chemicals what we use to grow the crops and vegetables is quite poisonous food we are eating presently. So our Siddhiri products, we sell it for this thing because these products will support our hospital running and charity. So we have organic products of all types from Siddhiri, and that throws the light over the preventive aspect of our hospital. So I want to end my topic with the word that he who has a health has a hope, and he who has a hope has everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Murjake. I'll request Dr. Thorat if you could please hand over a token of appreciation to Dr. Murjake.
here and sharing stage with such great people who are doing so much for us, for mankind, for education, and like they are talking about bringing East and West together. And as a result, as a young person, as a youth generation, I really look forward to that we can have such results that we can prevent the disease. Like we say, prevention is better than cure. Bringing together East and West can do that. And Mr. Sharma, I'm really thankful to him, and he's putting his heart and soul into it, and I'm really looking forward to this. And Mr. Sharma will tell you ahead.
Sir, wanted to ask, medical tourism is on a rapid pace. I mean, the cost of treatment is very affordable, but still, what need to be done to make it more affordable, more organized as such?
You see, there are a lot of things that are happening in the world that people don't know about. For example, this conference, so beautifully orchestrated. Young people came and talked about their practices, sharing with each other how they can help each other. These are the kinds of things we need more in the world. I saw so many younger doctors, not only they are so good at what they're doing and practicing, saving lives, they're also willing to contribute back to the community. And this is what you see in an organization like that. What an amazing job this group has done, having more than 600 people attend this conference for 3 days. Not only they learned about each other's passion and their techniques, they also had a great time. It was like a whole family experience. And that's exactly what I like to promote. India and Indians who are living abroad are dying to do something, but they don't have a vehicle to do it, especially physicians. Wouldn't it be nice if we talk about what our forefather brought to this world? Things that we have learned from rishis, maharajas, and people, Rishi Muni, Jari Booty, all those things that are so valuable, but we don't have any documentation. I challenge this group of younger physicians to document these kinds of things. There was a gentleman who talked about Ayurveda Hospital in Kolhapur. Let's talk about, bring both the tradition medicine together, the allopathic, the homeopathic, and Ayurvedic. Document how they're reducing diabetes cases. Document how the cholesterol levels are bringing down. Put those in white paper. In doing so, not only we're helping this generation, we are preventing some of these things from happening for the younger generation. India is rich. India has been rich. India can provide so many things to the world, but we need to talk about it.
Sir, wanted to ask, what about the government side or the big corporates who are willing to support and
Governments, of course, corporates, definitely, they will definitely support. Medical tourism is a wonderful idea. It not only helps our patients, but the patients abroad. They have direct communication. Online services are too good. It is always a means, and the conference is a base to promote such medical tourism. Doing a conference not only upgrades your knowledge, but it's a way of interacting with foreign faculty, a lot of doctors, a lot of students, the younger generation, to upgrade their knowledge, to have their personal interaction, and it ultimately helps for the nation.
Sir, wanted to ask, likewise, today you have called Shivani for the event as it's Bollywood, Mumbai. So do you want to make more celebrities for the medical awareness campaign so that people can get aware of what is happening in the medical fraternity?
You know, I think people listen to doctors only when they are ill. Okay. So we want everybody to just come up, because Bollywood is a glamour. So people like glamorous things. So I think Shivani Ben has to be a bridge between doctors and people who don't listen to us. So if it's glamour on stage, people will surely listen to us. And if they understand what is medical or what is health for them, the first thing, and the glamour together, I think they will go forward and forward and forward.
Even actors need doctors,
yes.
Yeah? Even we are human beings, we also need doctors. Like we shoot for 24 hours continuously and we look for such stuff, such medication or supplements or something. So yes, definitely, any actor would love to.
To maintain glamour, you have to have good health.
Yes.
And you have to have good medication. You have to have all different avenues. So not only we live longer, we live healthier.
Yes.
And so what's going on professional front? Are you working on it right
Yes,
now?
I am shooting with Love Production, doing a Hindi film. And it will be releasing in June and July. And my upcoming film is a Hollywood film with Rajkumar Rao and Nargis Fakhri, and really looking forward to that.
So what if you comment on the conclave as such, and being a more larger than life next year or that year?
See, first of all, I would like to thank Bimal Shahji, the whole team of Mumbai West, Dr. Rajesh. He has done such a wonderful job. I don't know, sometimes I have a question whether he's a dancer, singer or a doctor. I have to identify that. Overall, this conference was very nice, very nicely organized. They have done so much for us to be a part of them. And my subject was the medical tourism towards India. How medical tourism can become a global subject and connect world to India, especially to Mumbai. I'm working on this subject from last 2 years. I have been to many hospitals, to many projects where they can come together, they can be with us, and many hospitals like I've recently visited Kolhapur, the Siddhagiri hospital, where all the doctors, everybody, all the management has given us a blessing. We have so many places like Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji, we have to Baba Ramdev ji. Everybody was so excited about this subject and willing to work with us. And of course, I would like to thank Devendra Fadnavis ji, our CM Saab, and Madam Amruta Fadnavis ji, who has done so much for us, so much for Maharashtra, so much for Mumbai, and not the least, Advocate Ashish Shelar ji, who is my president, Mumbai BJP. He has done so much for me and always supported me in my good cause, and he is always there for me. So I'm thankful to all the team.
Thanks so much. How did the journey of glamour and acting started out? What really inspired you to be part of this industry as such?
Okay. I never thought of being an actor. I was a designer student, and I came here in 2011 as a INIFT student participating in Lakme Fashion Week. And today I'm feeling very proud that after 6 years I've come here as a celebrity guest, and it is an achievement for me. So I started my journey as a designer, but my teachers forced me to do the modeling, the ramp walk and all, and that's how I started. After that I joined a theatre group in Chandigarh, Alankar Theatre Group. After doing 2 plays, I got a movie offer, Punjabi film Happy Go Lucky. It was a Harry Baveja production. It was a really nice film with Amrinder Gill and Harish Verma. After that, I was looking forward to Bollywood stuff, Bollywood movies, and fortunately, I played a role of elder daughter of Sarabji, that is Randeep Huda's daughter. I shared the screen with Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, and that was amazing. My very first film, and I was working with such nice, such lovely, big people, big banner, big film. So, and after that, I did a Hollywood film, 5 Weddings with Nargis Fakhri and Rajkumar Rao, and I'm very proud to say that I'm the first Indian actor who has done first film regional, second film Hindi national, and third film international. Today I'm feeling really proud of it. Thank you.
Wanted to ask, Sarabji was critically acclaimed film, but it did not work out on the box office. So did it make you something?
No, it did well. If I talk about figures, the budget for Sarabjit was 15 CR, and the business it did was 45 CR. So that is pretty good according to box office.
And talking about the Hollywood project, how did you get that project, and how was it working?
I got that project via my makeup artist. That US team was here, the movie team was here. She did show my profile, and the director really liked it, and that's how I got it.
You are a designer as well, so will you continue that career as well?
Right now I'm not getting time for that. I'm really focused toward my acting skills and my movies. So maybe later on. Thank you.
ऐसा है कि दुनिया बहुत फास्ट चल रहा है, तो इसके साथ जैसे टेक्नोलॉजिकल अपडेट्स हो रहे हैं, वैसे बहुत सारे नए रिसर्च हो रहे हैं, नए मशीनरीज आ रही है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में बढ़ावा हो रहा है। वैसे डिसीज़ के अंडरस्टैंडिंग में बहुत ज़्यादा रिसर्च हो रही है, और पहले जो डिसीज़ थे उसके लिए नया ट्रीटमेंट आ रहा है। तो हर कोई जाके अभी वापस स्कूल जाके सीख तो नहीं सकता है, तो ऐसे जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं
उनमें हर किसी को इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म, आज आपने देखा तो कितने 3 दिन से यहाँ 800 ENT सर्जन्स जो महाराष्ट्र के यहाँ मिले हुए थे और उन्होंने बहुत कुछ सीखा है. तो दिस आर द प्लेटफॉर्म्स वेयर द मेडिकल कम्युनिटी को रिसेंट एडवांसेस या मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ रिसेंट जो स्टेप्स हैं उसके बारे में जानकारी मिलती है और इनके डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज़ जो होते हैं मतलब प्रैक्टिस में ये बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प होता है एंड द सेम कैन बी ट्रांसफर टू द पेशेंट्स.
लेकिन मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज आज के ज़माने में इतना ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव हो गया, क्या कहना चाहेंगे कि कॉर्पोरेट्स हो या गवर्नमेंट हो किस तरह से सपोर्ट होना चाहिए डॉक्टर्स कम्युनिटी को ताकि अफोर्डेबल बने हर के लिए और हर किसी के लिए, क्योंकि मेडिकल फैसिलिटी को हर किसी को चाहिए.
नो, दैट इज़ द प्रेजेंट डे इशू. हो ऐसा रहा है कि इट इज़ नॉट ओनली द मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स, इट इज़ इवन अगर एक हॉस्पिटल बांधनी है तो जगह कॉस्टली है, टू मेंटेन द स्टाफ इट इज़ वेरी कॉस्टली. तो इस हिसाब से प्राइजेस बहुत बढ़ रहे हैं एंड वो प्राइजेस डायरेक्टली पेशेंट के ऊपर ही रिफ्लेक्ट होते हैं. तो मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं इसमें गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट कर सकता है, एड दे सकते हैं या जो NGOs हैं दे कैन हेल्प आउट, और जो ट्रस्ट जैसे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं जहाँ मतलब कम रेट में ट्रीटमेंट दे सकते हैं. वी नो ऑल दिस हैवी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. तो जैसे कि अपना हॉस्पिटल है कोल्हापुर का, इट इज़ ए विलेज हॉस्पिटल. ओके, वी आर सिचुएटेड ऑलमोस्ट अराउंड 10 to 12 kilometers आउट ऑफ कोल्हापुर, बट वी हैव द सेम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर व्हाट वी सी इन मेट्रो सिटीज़. तो ये सब चीज़ें यहाँ हैं. तो ऐसा कोई हॉस्पिटल का बढ़ावा देना गवर्नमेंट का काम होना चाहिए ताकि वो जो बेनिफिट है डायरेक्टली पेशेंट को हम ट्रांसफ़र कर सकते हैं.
रिगार्डिंग
द मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज आर वेरी एक्सपेंसिव फॉर.
हाँ, एज फार एज द जो टैक्सेस का गवर्नमेंट के टैक्सेस का कंसर्न है वो जितना उसमें एग्जम्पशन दे सकते हैं वो दिया तो अच्छा रहता है. जो अभी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का बिल है वो कमर्शियल रेट्स को हॉस्पिटल्स का लगाया जाता है और जो वाटर बिल आता है वो इंडस्ट्रियल रेट्स उसको अप्लाई करते हैं. और साइमल्टेनियसली वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग लेस कॉस्ट इन मेडिकल एक्सपेंसेस. सो इट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल. सो आई रिक्वेस्ट गवर्नमेंट पर्सन्स कि दे शुड लुक इनटू दिस मैटर सीरियसली.
मेरा भी वही कहना है कि मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज़ में जितने इक्विपमेंट्स के ज़्यादा उनका परचेज के में ज़्यादा कॉस्टिंग है, प्लस सब ट्रेनिंग में उसमें कॉस्टिंग ज़्यादा लगती है, हॉस्पिटल मेंटेनेंस में ज़्यादा कॉस्टिंग लगती है. तो इसके सब बर्डन अल्टीमेटली आता है पेशेंट पर. तो इसलिए हमें ये एजुकेशन का जो मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स है, मेडिकल्स है, उनका सबका कॉस्टिंग हम कंट्रोल करेंगे तो ये भी अल्टीमेटली कम हो जाएगा. यही मेरा कहना है.